Hi there and welcome to my channel. This is Kate at the Journal Nest in Australia, and it is great to have you here with me. It is Making Monday and I haven't actually had a chance to put my hands on paper today. So here we go. We're going to get right into it and see how far we go. This is journaling from scratch and part of a series where we're going to go all the way through a journal. I hope you're well and ready and crafting alongside me. Okay, so a few things that you've seen before in the nest with the addition of some tools for making signatures. I hope we get to that today. The journal that we started last week and some signatures, well, collections of papers that are not yet ready to be signatures. And I have with me my big book, because if we get to punching and working on the spine, we will need a layer behind us. So I want to share with a realization I've had. I think I said last time that I didn't know how many signatures we would go in here, but I have become a fan of the 3. But I was looking at the other journal that we're making in this series, My Harmony and Counterpoint one, which is a similar sized book. But the fact that I have 3 signatures in here already, and this is the one with the treasure pocket at the front, and we added in Kate's Itching to Stitch some crochet work and recycled lace that's going to live in there at the back. So that's not the journal we're starting from scratch today, but my realization was that the spine was much fatter. So when I compare it to this one, it just doesn't seem like that the original spine. I wanted to keep this, but it's just not going to be thick enough to hold 3 signatures the way that I add lots of bits and pieces into them, because these, they add centimeters at a time. So the realization is that I need to take the cover off the book. I've also been playing with a plated cover with fabric and crinkly paper, but for the moment, let's see if I can stay on track. So thank you so much to my subscribers for being with me, and all my new subscribers. Welcome, and it is so great to have you along here. So many of you have been very honest with me that you're just starting out, and in return, I'm honest with you and say, so am I, especially in terms of using book covers. Now, you notice I did that on the front because I did it from the inside on another book. I don't even know how to hold this knife, so I'm a bit scared of it. But I accidentally cut into the spine. So I'm going to take this off. I know many of you have shared that you love using book covers and you do hard covers. For me, I started with soft covers, and using books is my new thing. That's what I love about this journey, learning all the time. And if nothing else, it's just a prettier colour for you to look at while I take that off. Okay, so here's the original spine. You can see it's quite thin. I'm going to put, I've tried to measure this up better than you may remember last week we were playing around with this sort of material, which reminds me, I don't know, I'm going to use this sort of material. Okay, back to what I was saying. I've measured up, this is about 5 centimeters, and we have to allow for some space in between for when it bends, so that when it comes up like this, it'll probably end up being 5.5 to 6, but that should house these signatures with room to spare. So for those of you who have shared that you're just starting out, signature at this point is the collections of paper, and we have to find a way of attaching them in there and about 1 centimetre apart. I'm going to take you through how I do that. I'm not an expert figuring it out. I have a video where I get it all totally wrong, and I haven't done one since, so this hopefully is an improvement. So that's what I'm thinking of. We're going to stick those to there, and we're going to sew using our bookbinding string. You can use any sorts of things, crochet cotton. I'm just looking that there's a knot there before I start, so I must remember. Crochet cotton, embroidery thread, whatever you like. I bought a new tool, and I have the old tool, so we'll see. I'll get to those. All right, so one thing at a time. Where are we up to? Okay, we've got the covers off. Back to the spine. Put my knife away. I really enjoyed doing this to this spine, so I'm hoping to do a similar thing with this. So I will layer fabric that is wider than my inside, and I'll probably stitch around it and put some papers, etc. So it says harmony and counterpoint. So this one, I was looking at the idea and thinking, I don't need all of that, but I do like this idea of reader and writer and whatever that says, and book 2. So I'm thinking, and then I'll put the outside away and we'll get on with the inside. So I want to, oh, nearly made a mistake. Actually, there are no mistakes, but I would have been disappointed. We'll keep that for another time, but this will be my this will feature on the spine outside with some layers. I have got some material that I was thinking of using. It's good to see that the nest is doing its usual thing. Okay, I'm going to put this down for the moment. What are you up to? Did you have a lovely weekend? Because it is Monday here, Monday afternoon, and it was a busy one for me. Lots of stitching projects actually, and if you want to check out those, I've got Itching to Stitch, I've got a slow stitching series, and it has been absolutely wonderful to find out about how many of us do multiple creative things: art journals, junk journals, also books, etc. Okay, Kate just needs to stop for a minute and think what comes next. I'm going to work on the spine, which is going to be a hidden one, and I would like to cover it before we put the signatures in. So I think I shared that I just measured this up, and it's about 5 centimeters. So I'm just using my glue stick. I could use fabric glue, but for this part, I think it's strong enough to stay. And I'm going to, now as I've shared, I am learning as I go. I watch how other people do it, and I try to copy them, and often it doesn't work. But I've been so encouraged that that's what this journey is about. That there are no rules, we're free to create. Now that embroidery is going to cause a little bit of a tickle there. I don't know whether it's great that I put that there. In fact, there may be no purpose and it might make it harder to get my needle through. But this bit now isn't big enough, so we'll stay with that. So the idea is I've got a little bit wonky, of course. Thank you to all the people who have taken the time to not only watch my videos, but also write in and share with me. And wonky has been, I think, one of the words I use mostly because I can't do anything very straight, even if I try very, very hard. And so many of you said it's okay to be wonky. So I hear that when I do this. I truly don't know why I did that. But maybe they'll peep out on either side. The signatures are going to go in there. So what I was saying is we'll do that and that. Signatures here. And then from the outside, we'll have this, another fabric. I hope you've got that. All right. Okay, it's going to be brave now. So in order to get our signatures, let's see if I've got a cleaner ruler. I have such sticky fingers. Most important, remember which way is up. I want this to be showing out the bottom of the book, sort of like out of the journal, just a little bit like that, which means this way's up. I want to go, again, I just need to measure. Yep. So I like to start sort of in a centimetre in and then find the middle. So we might, I know that's jumbled. Let's measure this. It's 18, which means the halfway through is about 9. Okay, so I'm just marking that there. And then I like to do my signatures sort of a centimetre in, and we need, sorry, that if you're needing my measurements, I'm really sorry because that has got a piece of tape there. Basically, we need to have 1 centimetre in each side, and then we're going to, that's just my allowance, and I want to go right in the centre, which is 2.5. Just forget those dots there, actually, they're not really important. So there's the centre. That's going to be one line, is 1 centimetre that way, and 1 centimetre that way. And let's do it down here as well. So 2.5 is the centre, and then here and here, and that was the halfway line. So I'll just measure this up, get it straight. I actually shared that I do like this process, as challenging as it is for me. And I'm just drawing all over this. Some people do it by eye. I used to not draw it up at all, but my wonkiness, and because I'm sharing with you. Okay, so we know that's going to be 1 hole, 2nd hole, 2nd hole. So we're going to do 3 holes. And as I said, I just sort of like, if I can, doing a centimetre. This ball, this way, I'm just going to eyeball it. I shouldn't have done those marks there. Sorry about that. And here. So the big round ones is where I'm going to aim. haven't pre-tested this. It exploded. I think someone said it's called a Japanese screw punch. I like it because it powers. Yep. That I used to worry about so much. Okay, so here are the holes for our signature, and they've gone quite, I can see through them, so that's fine. All right, now we go to our papers, and what I haven't done is actually sorted through the heights, because if you were with me when we were putting this together, I just had the raw pages. So what I'm going to do is take away these spare white lines, oh not white lines, spaces at the top and bottom. I've already forgot where that came from. Doesn't matter. So I've got pattern plain. Let's put text plain. Oh, I haven't got very far on this at all. And that's manuscript or score. What's that one? That's the applique pattern. Okay, that's all right. That's one signature. Second signature, I wanted to feature this second act. Just measure the book size again. So that page is way too tall. So we're going to fold this up. I like that idea, that, and I'll cover that and I'll probably trim it down. 1, 2, 3, that needs extending. That one's too wide, but we can deal with that later. And a totally plain in the middle, that's not what we want to do. So let's swap this. So we've got tree and pattern on the middle. And you can see I haven't decorated this at all yet, which is something we're going to do together. Embellish. This is still too tall, this piece of score. So do I want to make a pocket, or no, let's just trim this part of the page off. Lots of things to do in this. Is that okay? Yep, that's okay. All right. That's still a little bit big. Sorry, this. Something's got to be sacrificed. So it's going to be this bottom part of the music. Close enough. Okay, so we all have our personal preferences on what order we go, but I do like, personally, to start at the back and make sure that's right, and then I end up getting so relaxed and excited by the front. Oh, now, did we talk about that that's going to have that there? I just remembered. If I get the fabric glue out in a minute, we will see if we can stitch that down. Okay, back on track. So I usually make mistakes by the top because I'm so relaxed and excited that I'm nearly there. All right, let's get organized. So we have spine, which we need to do like this. Of course, I put the big books for punching down too early. chair as well, which I'm just going to swap over because I can't stand the sound of that. So this is the book where I watched Louise Heinzel in my early days, and I loved that she uses the same book and then she's going to make that into a journal itself. All right, that's the signature. Where's this? This is it. Okay. So make sure they're all lined up. I could use one of these things to make sure they're creased. You watch, I won't even with all of this, I will still find it hard to fish around, but that's okay. All right, so we want to get the center and the longest page, and then we want to get our hole. I'm going to do the punchy way. Oh, it's getting dark here, so my light isn't all that good. Okay, punch. Yep. Into the center is the most important thing, and here. Did they go all the way through? Go all the way through. So what you do when you get that is you line everything up again. I told you it wouldn't go smoothly, and I'm just going to use this one to just make sure. Yeah, that's all the way through. That is, and that is. Okay, signature 1. Oh, meaning backward order. Signature 3. Let's do a page that's a bit more. It was much easier when I used my graph paper, but now so many other people make it look so much more simple than I was trying to do, so hopefully. You work out your way of doing it. That's that one, and one more. We've been sharing too about our favourite things to use in journals, and if people have one project on at once or whether you have multiples. And again, I found out we're all different, which is what I love. I am enjoying this puncture muncher. Okay, good. So signature 1, 2, and 3. Now the fun bit begins. First challenge is to find the needle. Remember that. In the early days, I used to worry about how long to cut, but I have seen that many people don't cut their thread. They just have it on. Now I'm glad that's come off because I needed to remember. Yeah. Just better check that. Yep, you can see me. Oh, has that ever happened to you? I just threaded the off cut. This has still got a bit of the knot on it. Nothing straightforward in the nest, but it's so much fun. Okay. You watch, everything will start exploding. I said last time it should have been a bloopers video. Okay, here we go. Go fishing in the hole all the way through. So that's the middle hole of the third signature. Put this up the right way. Think we're going here because that's going to be the front. And we're in. This is where I will get tangled. But the sense of satisfaction when you come out and they all stick together is worth it. Nearly through. So up the top hole. I've left too much of a tail on here. So I'll just work out where that tail is. It's there. Now we go down to the other end. I mean, maybe my slow stitching is helping me get a little bit better at this, maybe less panicky. Because really it is not that complicated at all. See, it's like fishing. I pick up all sorts of things. Okay, back in to the middle, go through the middle. Don't pierce the thread, and we'll be a third of the way there. There we go. It's good that this is a dark piece because if you're just learning, you can see. Okay, so we pull it tight and we cut. Yeah. And before I take the needle off, a lot of people anchor underneath just to make it stronger, which is what I'm going to do. Like that. Actually, not that way. And this left hand didn't want to pick up then. I want to do it this way. Basically, you just want to ensure that. Okay. And just knot it off. Now I mustn't be too pleased with myself, but that's the first signature. That's the back. And we will get to see a little bit of that stitching between. So signature number 2, which features the second dab. Ta-da! Let's put that on. Okay, thread the needle first. If you watched my previous one, the first part of this new series, you know that I got so fascinated with the curiosities in this old magazine. It was a pamphlet, I think, for an auction. So I've got any hole. Oh, okay, so that's down there. So when you're using odd-sized, I'm going to change my mind. The holes didn't go through, so I'm just going to head to the center there. And head to the center here. Okay. Find the middle one is exciting, but maybe a little bit harrowing because this is where I get all my things tangled and that tail is too long. So let's obliterate that up to the top. Am I right? Have I done something wrong? Nope. Where's the end? I just need to check that's okay. All right, so I've got to the end with the needle going down. And there, and there. Through the paper, through the hole. And this is where the satisfaction starts to creep in. Through there. And if we can get through the middle unscathed, it starts to feel really good in your hands. Good. All right. So, the tightening. Dropped my scissors, so we'll chop it this way. Check. Yes. We'll put that one, tuck that out. What am I going to end up doing on this page? I'm sort of excited that I'm trying something different. I haven't used appliques big pictures like this before. Okay. That. That's where you go. Have you got it in the right way? Yep. 2, 3, and the last one. Okay, thread the needle again. And this is the one I really love doing. But see, I get overexcited and I was going to go in the material first, like the spine. All right. Okay, so this is the one I was worried that I haven't got holes. They didn't come through. So again, I'm just going to use my needle to stab it. And the same here. So it's not the end of the world if something like that happens. Ta-da. And there, look at this. This is what I love. Satisfaction. I have a journal. If I keep cool, within seconds or maybe a minute, we can keep going on to something different. Okay. So what's just happened is that this signature has got a whole lot of little pages. So there's not a lot to go through at the top, which isn't a problem at all. It just is something that... Now, what have I got? I've got myself tangled. Just help myself out of that little mess. Back to the needle. Now we're going all the way to the bottom. And so in the center. And to there. And then we'll come through just because I want to check it. And then through there. So this is a ta-da moment. So it's always hardest. I get too excited to be on the home straight, and then it takes longer than it should. Nearly there. There we are. So the needle's off. Cutting that, checking that it's tight. Honestly, the more you do this, the better you get. I remember Louise saying that she'd made 90, and I thought, wow, that's why it's looking a lot easier than I feel it. But we're done. So let's put that needle somewhere where I won't get it tangled with anything else. So we have book, and this is the front, and this is the back, and that's going to go in there like that. And maybe we've got a little bit of time to get out the front and stick it in. Imagine if we got all the way there. So I need to back this with something heavier. I've ended up with tea paper, it doesn't really matter. Just think, Kate. Think. I'm just working out whether I keep going with the outside spine, because I do need to stitch and I do want this other material that I can't find. A quick look around. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to tear this piece of paper to be about the same size. Let's go here and save paper. So it's roughly about that size and a little bit bigger than where we've got, so about there. Sorry, that would have been quieter. I nearly fell off my chair reaching. This isn't the piece I wanted, but it may end up being like that. Do we want a number to be visible? I don't think we do. And I don't like that purple. Let's have a look this way instead. I need a bit without colour, so let's go into here. Yep, fold that up. So remember, I'm modelling it on this. So we have a bigger piece of material that will go over. Yep. I'm going to keep that there. Getting squashy. bit of material, another piece of contrasting material. I'm going to put my pencil mark just so I start to remember. Let's do that. Glue stick. Frayed threads everywhere. I feel that's just a bit long there. Okay, then I would put another piece of material over here. So what we're doing is really layering and collaging with paper. Again, I have to stretch over. Oh. There we go. Let's see if we can find something out of this. I would love that to happen, and indeed it's going to work. So just going to tear this edge off. And oh, what does it say there? Forgive. Don't need that. We all need forgiveness, but I don't need that on the cover. On the spine, I mean. Then I'd like a piece of beautiful paper. Something like that. Get a few pieces out. So literally just go through. Oh, some of those have fallen off the nest. A little bit of this. It's going to go over there, and knew that would happen. I've buried, oh no I haven't, so that's the wrong blue. This is quite an unusual blue, isn't it? So look, this is basically the direction I'm heading in. That will end up, I don't like that side there, so once I do the stitching I might change that a little bit, but let's put the book together. Back cover. I'm going to have something like this on the outside. That'll come over there like that. This you may as well commit. I've been looking at this for days. Just a glue stick at the moment. If it needs fabric glue, I will get to that. Liked that it said centre front. And a 9. Be careful not to squash my crinkly paper. And then let's imagine that's stuck in. We're going to have that there. Oh, see, this is where you have to always have your arrows. I'm so glad we're not sticking, because that nearly went in the wrong way, and I can see that that lace is a bit long. Oh no, it'll be okay. So that's where we're up to in our making a journal from scratch. We've got our covers, we've got our spine, we're ready to decorate inside. We're working on our little bit of uniqueness in the front, and I think that's probably enough in the nest today. So I really hope you've enjoyed that, and until next time, bye.